Hi guys, welcome to Chats with Ash, and this is basically my first video on YouTube. I'm trying YouTube again because I feel called to, and I feel like I have a lot of knowledge that I want to share, and I need to share it because I feel called to share it. You know what I mean? And it's not easy. It's really not, because I have the fear of being seen and perceived and all of that. But then I realize at the end of the day that this is me and I have to be me. And because I'm being me and I'm trying to be authentic, I decided to make that my first video. This video is called The Art of Authenticity. And authenticity has been a word that has been screaming to me in my creativity. I've been called to work with it, like how I've been called to work with unconditional love, spirituality, womanhood. Authenticity is one of it. And what drove me to wanting to work with authenticity is because I remember when I started my spiritual journey in matric, and then I remember I was like, okay, I'm taking a gap year. And I told my parents, I'm taking a gap year because I want to change my paradigm. Paradigm is basically changing the way you think. And when you change the way you think, you change your reality, you know, because your life is literally a mirror of your mind. But yeah, so I said, I want to change my paradigm. And then 2 weeks ago, I realized, oh, I looked at my reality. I looked internally and I was like, I literally did it. I changed my paradigm. You know, I changed the way I thought, and I saw how it impacted my life. You know, as I was explaining this to my best friend, he asked me something. And one thing I like about my best friend is that he will question everything that I say. He won't just say, you're right, you know. So he was like, okay, but then what is authenticity, Ash? And I was like, well, I don't want to give the cliche answer where it's just being yourself. Because what I've realized is people don't even know what self is. You know, they're living up to a perception that they created of themselves in society and thinking, oh, to be authentic is to live up to that person, is to live up to the person that they've created and not the person that they actually are. You know what I mean? And you know, I saw myself doing that as well. Like, okay, this is Ash, this is who I am in society, this is who I've represented myself to be, and I need to live up to that. That was me being authentic. I realized I had to deconstruct my way of thinking, and I had to ask myself, does this way of life align with me? Does this, you know, knowledge align with me? And I had to learn, unlearn, learn, unlearn, relearn, all of that, which brought me back to my authentic self. And I was like, wow. So what authenticity is to me is that little voice internally, like that little voice that speaks to you. And I'm gonna tell you how. So a lot of people be like, I'm working on being authentic. Baby, you can't work on being authentic. You're born authentic. You're born you. It's society that made you create this false sense of ego to survive in reality. You know what I mean? And I realized I talk about ego and I talk about soul a lot. And I need to make a video talking about what those two things are, you know? I'll give a short description right now. So soul to me is who you truly are. It's like, it's divine. It's you know, it's your pure self. That to me is your authentic self. And then ego is the body and, you know, what society, you know, how you have to be in society, the labels, the, you know, just lower vibrational things. Being authentic is that little voice in your head. That authenticity is that little voice in your head that's like, I don't really like this, or this makes me feel a bit uncomfortable, or I wanted the blue one and not the pink one, but I don't want to be an inconvenience. I'll go for the pink one, but you wanted the blue one. So authenticity is that little voice in your head, you know, and it's tapping into that self and just fully expressing that being. But I realize that people are afraid. They think that it's only a state of mind, being in the mind. They think that they can only be that thing in their head. But then I want to bring forth the idea that that person can be a person. You can just be that person. No, it won't just be a little voice in your head. And I want to give an example of that little voice in your head. So I was in a friend group, and this friend group made sense for my ego. It made sense, excuse me, but it made sense for my ego. You know what I mean? It made sense for the person I wanted to be perceived as. It was fun, it was lit, it was great. But then truly there would just be that little voice internally that would always just be like, okay, but I'm not comfortable with what's happening right now. But it's fine. I'd rather just brush that off and just live the life, live the motion, you know what I mean? But it wasn't serving my authentic self until it ain't me. And then I realized that people are born with two things. It's your authenticity, and then we can even take it back to like, animal times, when we weren't evolved yet. You just had your authenticity. Oh, I'm hungry, I'm gonna go hunt right now. Oh, I feel danger, I'm going to hide right now. Oh, I feel this, you just do it, you go by it, you know what I mean? We didn't have that social settings, compromising our authenticity. We never used to do that. It's only a recent thing. But it's authenticity and it's attachment. We are people that need people. And what we realize is, I realized, I'm joking, but what I realized is that we are sacrificing our authenticity for attachments. We're like, oh no, if I feel like this, I can lose this. I have to suppress this feeling, this real emotion, so that I can have that. But at the end of the day, if you're not your authentic self, it's going to eat you up at the end, But if you're just like, this is me, with my shadows, with my flaws, with my good traits, with my, this is me. And if that person accepts you like that, that is a real form of relationship. I think when you also your authentic self, you find the people that are for you. You find the career that is for you. You find just everything just starts aligning for you. And life is just more freeing and just more peaceful when you're just authentic and listening to that little voice in your body. It's like, I think it's in your gut. Yeah, you just listen to that person, yourself, and you go with it, no matter what, fearlessly. This is who I am, and you go for it. I have a soul-to-soul. I love soul-to-soul relationships. I love speaking to people with my soul, which encourages them to speak with their souls as well, because it's real, it's beautiful, and it's just, I love it. I love it so much. So this is just volume 1. I don't want to make this long. So I hope you enjoyed me yapping, because I love yapping and I feel like I was called to yap. And yeah, bye.